Some vacuum coffee with this vintage Cory vacuum pot. What we have is 2 glass containers. This one filled with water. About 6 cups we have in there. This is the top of the unit. It's glass, and then this has a soft, pliable rubber seal, which just sits in the top like that. Just kind of push it down snugly. This is the glass filter rod, and that keeps the grounds from going into the bottom of the coffee pot here. That just sits in like that. Then you put your desired amount of coffee. We usually use about a teaspoon for every 2 cups. So we'll just go 1, 2, 3 and a dash. And turn the old burner up to high, and we'll let it bring up to temperature, and then I'll come right back and show you the brewing process. Okay, it's been a couple minutes and the pot and water are all heated up, and the process is slowly beginning here. How the vacuum pot works is the water is heated in the bottom and to near boiling. It doesn't actually boil in the bottom, but as it heats, it builds up pressure in the bottom pot, and it actually forces the water, the air pressure actually forces the water right up the fill tube into the top vessel, where it mixes with coffee grounds. You can see that it has begun to fill the top. Here we go. It is said that this is a better tasting coffee because of the proper temperature is maintained, which is approximately 190 degrees, not actually boiling. Barb and I sure like it. It's the only coffee we've been drinking for the last 2 years since we discovered the vacuum pots. There's different varieties of vacuum pots. There's stainless steel models, which are durable but not as much fun to watch. You can still see the coffee bubbling in the top vessel. You don't actually get to see the bottom water going up into the top and all. You can see now we're down to about a cup has gone into the top now. This is a Cory DRU3 model. It's a vintage coffee pot, although we don't think it was ever used. When we got it, there was still a light brown tissue paper that was wrapped around the gasket material, and there were actually no signs of use whatsoever. There's no chips, cracks, repairs, etc. The handle has no chips. The gasket is, like I said earlier, very good condition. You want to pay attention to the handles on these old vacuum coffee pots because they often are cracked or chipped where they attach to the pot, and that of course can be dangerous should it actually fail when you're picking it up. If the seller doesn't provide a picture of the handle where you can actually see it, it's always a good idea to ask them. Okay, the water's really starting to heat up now. You can see that the majority of it has moved to the upper pot now. There we go. Now we're seeing the effect of the remaining air in the bottom of the pot bubbling up through the grounds. Now we often let this brew for 30 seconds. You can go maybe a minute or so. And that determines really the strength of the coffee. Then you remove the coffee pot from the heat and put it on a cold burner. Now when we do that, as the pot cools, there's a void, a vacuum left in the bottom vessel now due to the escaping air. And now you see that the coffee is being sucked back into the lower vessel from the top due to the vacuum pressure. It sucks the water right around the edges of that glass filter rod that we inserted. Told you it was fun to watch. Or else our life is really lacking in things to do, huh? Oh, that's the most fun right there when it finishes the last vacuuming and it nearly vacuums those coffee grounds dry. Just like that. I'm going to move this over to another burner. It's a little easier to grab while I'm videotaping. Now all we have to do is just remove the top, set that over in the sink to clean up, and pour ourselves a couple cups of coffee. I'm sure you'll enjoy this coffee pot if you bid on it and win it. Thanks for watching my first video presentation. Sorry for all the lack of professionalism in the recording. Bye now. Thanks. Now, get to bidding on this.